We've got a question for Michael. Aaron, put your hand up. Lovely. The roving mic is here.
Thanks so much. You know, I'm curious, for Michael, out of all the roles that you played that can really be considered iconic, what is it about Marty McFly, in your opinion, that makes him stand out the most, makes him the most iconic, if indeed you think he is?
Well, I think to the extent he is, that's Bob and Bob's fault. It's Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale's fault. They created a really interesting character in that he, just like they did with Chris, which is, Chris does in the movie that people don't always appreciate is, he lays all the exposition. I mean, it's a movie that depends on exposition. And you got Chris going, and like all that stuff that's brilliant is also exposition, is also serving the script. Sorry about that. So with Marty, it's the same thing with Marty's curiosity and it's just the fact that he's just a cipher for the audience to take in what's happening and to see their feelings reflected back. And they I don't know if I did that on my own as much as I just fell into the rhythm that Bob created. And so Marty was every minute. Marty was just every kid and everybody's, he was just supposed to represent everybody's reaction to what was happening.
Thank you. Eric.
Hi, guys. So my question's about the very first day that you, Michael, came on the set. I was wondering, I've always been curious about your headspace coming into the movie because you had not only this movie that you have to lead, but you're having to come in at such a point after Eric was dismissed, Eric Stoltz. And was that more pressure for you, knowing that you suddenly have to come in and on a big day, because you shot in the parking lot of the mall, right? Was that what you were saying?
Sure.
And that's a very distinct moment, a very character-setting moment for
I was just 26 and stupid. And like,
yeah.
Really happy to be there. It was like in a trailer with Steven Spielberg talking about what shoes to wear. And it's just crazy. And I was aware that I was replacing Eric and they did a lot of stuff. And what was interesting was the first part of doing the film, shot a lot of scenes where we were doing my coverage to scenes that had already been shot. So everybody else in the scene is reacting to Eric, and I'm in there like trying to do my own thing, but elicit the same response that Eric got in a way. It was really strange. It was a puzzle, but I was so excited to be there, and I was so happy to redeem myself after Teen Wolf. I like Teen Wolf, but at the time you had a yak hair all over your face. Is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me to grab some.
I never thought I'd touch Doc's bottom, but there you go. Steve, where's Steve?
This is a question for all three of you. Back to the Future, such a memorable film. When you guys think back on the making of the film, is there a day or two that you will always remember from filming? One that like really stands the test of time? Or is it the whole experience? You know what I mean? If you could just...
Well, I'll let you guys go.
I remember the whole car sequence when we had to kiss, and then Biff was like ravaging me, and that whole sequence I knew was really, really important because I had to fall out of love with him. I had to get ravaged by Biff, and then I had to fall back in love with George. And I remember how nervous Bob Z was because these were big plot points that we had to sell with acting. And for me, that whole sequence was like really major. And I got to kiss Michael, so that was good times.
That scene says how good you were. You were great. It was the real whiskey in the glass.
Yeah.
So I just doing a take, and I expected it to be tea or something. It was hardcore vodka. So my spit take was genuine.
Always a hard thing to do.
You got a memory?
No.
Can you remember anything? It was in the 80s. We were all there. You were there and she was there.
Give me a second. Well, the only thing that comes to mind, I had to do a speech to see when I had to talk my usual, stuff. And I was wearing old age makeup. It was all put on my face. And they wrote it so that while I'm speaking, I may have been speaking to you.
Yeah, I think you were.
I take off the makeup, and it has to come off, it's about that thick.
Like Mission Impossible.
And yeah. and it had to come off in one piece. And if it didn't, then I had to go back to make it and have it all put on, and then maybe 2 hours later they tried again. I had a nightmare expecting this was going to go on for several days. But it came off miraculously, and I didn't flub the speech.
You had a way of making it.
Yeah,
Is that in Back to the Future 3? I don't remember that.
huh? I don't remember what it was.
Did it end up in the movie?
Maybe it's not in the movie, I don't know.
Lovely. We've got a question from Amelia. There we go.
This is kind of a question to all of you as well, I guess. Back to the Future promised us so much in terms of technology, and it's 2015 right now, and I feel really let down. I don't have a hoverboard, I don't have anything like that. What about you guys? Is there kind of a piece of tech that you'd hoped you kind of tested out back then, and you think, I wish I had that now?
Well, one thing the movie got completely right is my receding hairline. They nailed that, unfortunately.
I still have small boobs. That didn't work out for me. No flying cars, but it's amazing that we had the big screen TV, voice-activated TV with 1,000 channels and the personal entertainment devices. And I mean, it kind of was touching on it a little bit. I think that the headset thing kind of smartphone. But I don't know, you know, flying cars are hard to resist. I think that, and the Cubs could actually win this one. That's to be fair. I think they were going for like a comedy vision of 2015. You know what I mean? Like with the bright colors and all the crazy.
Seems so far away.
I know.
Sitting on Rock Low getting arrested.
That's right.
Lovely. A question from Luke.
Past, future, and present, guys. Is there any particular time in history that you'd prefer to live in? Is there any particular, you know, age in history that you'd like to live in?
I went to see the movie, TV movie with Woody Allen. Where in the history we go to a time travel. And Woody wasn't part of the conversation, he was doing his thing. But he kind of leaned in and listened to it. So we said, invited him to join in, and we said, is there any time where you think you would go to travel through time? And he said, no time before the invention of penicillin. I think that's a good rule. You can't go anywhere before the invention of penicillin.
Hello?
The thing is, he's not going to
I think your mic went out.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get it out of my skirt so you can use it. Here. Here it is. Here you go. There you go. There.
Yeah, that's it. I'm talking directly through your boobs. Adjust those.
This is an old theater trick where you get close to someone when their mic comes down and you go here. Okay, I'll move over.
Question from Hassan.
This is a question for Christopher. What do you think is the enduring appeal of Doc Brown? And do you think that part of that is because the story of Back to the Future is about him?
I think Plank at the gist.
What do you think is the enduring appeal of Doc Brown?
What's the enduring appeal of Doc Brown?
Enduring
appeal of Doc Brown.
appeal?
Why does he appeal? Why do people
Why
love
is it
him?
appeal?
Why do they love him so much?
Appeal, okay.
Feel your face up.
Yeah. Well, I always answer this sort of question by saying that everybody, dreaming about or thinking about, everybody thinks about time travel. They always think, gee, maybe I would be fascinated to go back to the great, you know, something in the past. Or I'd love to go to the future and see what things are like. So I think the movie kind of capitalizes on that rather well. And then there's the relationship between you and me. I don't know if I could define it in 3 words, but I'm sort of his mentor, and he's a young man whose Doc kind of opens up a vision of the world in certain ways. So it's kind of a classic mentor, young person thing. Yeah.
I love myself with this.
Sort of, I kind of feel it's kind of like that. And it's a family picture. I mean, even though they get their gender mixed up once in a while, it's a family picture.
It's a very, very close family picture.
Yes, yes, it is. I think it's...
A question from Rob.
What?
Hello. First of all, thank you for Back to the Future. One of the greatest films. Thank you very much. My question is, you've worked with two directing greats, Robert Zemeckis and of course the executive producer, Steven Spielberg. What was that like?
Well, Bob is a force of nature. He's an amazing guy, and he's an amazing mind, and he's an amazing energy. And the thing with Bob was, we'd be doing a scene and it wouldn't be working, we couldn't figure out how to do it, and he would just stay there all night. Like, people would go, well, we're going to shut this down, and he figures it out, and we'd say, no, he's going to go all night long until he figures this out. And it could be something as simple as a prop in the wrong place. He's just such a stickler for detail. And I thought Steven was a perfect mentor for him. I think Steven never imposed himself on the process, never. I mean, he was just kind of hanging in the background, and I think he had a great relationship with Bob, and it came off successfully.
Well, I'm afraid we're out of time, so please raise the roof for Christopher, Michael, and Lea!
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!